Very good morning to you.
Good morning.
This phrase, I mean, so many leaks coming out of the Cabinet. It seems utterly divided and treacherous, actually. And Philip Hammond, the Chancellor, working to frustrate Brexit. I wonder if that's something you'd agree with. Treating pro-leave ministers like pirates who've taken him prisoner. Now, firstly, who do you think's leaking this stuff? And secondly, do you think they're right?
Well, I don't think it matters who's leaking this stuff, because actually, you know...
Well, it does if they're leaking stuff that's secret in Cabinet,
but it's
private.
not just on Brexit. If you think about the 1% pay cap for public workers, you've got the Chancellor saying this is our position, you've got Boris contradicting him. I can't think of a government in my lifetime who, within weeks of forming an administration, all appear to hate each other. Now, the problem with this is that how is Brussels going to take anything David Davis says today seriously? Because who knows what the government's position really is. So it is a mess.
Nigel, can I ask you, I mean, you had one vision, right, for this country to extricate us from the European Union, and it was successful. Is the Brexit deal that we're going to end up with here anywhere near what you envisaged it would be?
Well, Brexit will happen, of that I've got no doubt. You know, I mean, it would be...
Is it what you understood Brexit to be, the way things are looking?
Well, what's happened is it's been redefined, hasn't it, as hard and soft Brexit.
Right.
And hard Brexit, as the press and Tony Blair and others call it, is the Brexit we voted for. I mean, it couldn't have been clearer. We were voting to leave the European Court and voting to leave the single market. And what we're now getting is a kind of a replay of the arguments that took place in the referendum.
Although
if you want my prediction...
The government is committed to leaving the European single market and the customs union.
Yes, it is, and so is the Labour Party. I mean, you know, if you look at it, 85% of the votes in the general election were for parties that wanted to leave the single market. And yet, my suspicion, and getting back to Piers' question, I suspect that by the middle of 2019, we will see a substantial watering down of what...
The one thing that seems to me that's just being sort of parked to one side is the one issue that I felt at the time was the big issue of that referendum, immigration.
Yep.
And the reason it seems to me is that when people have got into the weeds about all this, no one's really got a solution, however we Brexit, for controlling immigration, which seems to me a bit perverse, given that was why I suspect most people voted for.
And look at the arguments. Look at the arguments now about housing, primary school access, GP access, all of these problems. You know, our population is going up officially by over 500,000 people a year. Unofficially, it's probably near 750,000 every year. So, yeah, we may well finish up 2 years down the road where we've left the European Union but done it in name only, and there are going to be a lot of very angry people.
What about the fact that, you know, we've got this crippling loss now in the numbers of European nurses who want to come to this country? How can that be good? I mean, the argument against tightening up immigration is that actually what's happening,
staff.
you don't keep out just the bad people, you keep out a lot of very good people that we desperately need.
Well, ultimately, if we need nurses or need engineers, we will find them.
Where?
Well, why are we thinking just about Europe? There's a very big world out there. Although longer term, one of the worst things is, why are we not training our own people? You know, with too many people going to university, leaving with £60,000 worth of debt, and not actually getting into jobs. So we've had a real lack of vocational training in Britain.
Isn't the problem with trying to get people outside of a free movement system that you have quite a complicated system where you have to identify vacancies and then people are allowed to come in but only on a visa system? Whereas the whole benefit of the free movement of people around the EU was that they would just come, it would be a frictionless movement, but coming out of the European single market means we're completely going to lose that.
There are 200 countries in the world, so virtually everybody, where you have to get a work permit to go and work somewhere. That's how the world works. I agree with you. In theory, the free movement of workers was a wonderful idea until we let in the former communist countries, and we did, and it's an emotive word, but we literally got swamped by vast numbers of people, and our public services
who contribute to the economy, who pay their taxes.
Mostly no. Mostly no.
What do you mean mostly?
Because, actually, unless you're earning over £30,000 a year, you are not a net benefit to the UK economy. So you can look at immigration and say, those that come in and earn good money and pay real taxes are a benefit. The rest, frankly, are not a benefit. A benefit to employers, but overall economically to the country, no.